Hello everyone and welcome to the video. Today I'm going to take a look at this right here. This is the Maxpedition Platy Pocket Organizer. And full disclosure, before I go any further in the video, Maxpedition did send this to me to check out and do a review on. I told them I was going to talk about what I like about it, what I don't like about it, give my overall thoughts on it. They were still fine with sending it along. So yeah, just full disclosure so you know, they did send this to me to check out. But yeah, this is a very nice pocket organizer. The material it is made out of is rugged 50D nylon, and also on the back here it does have an actual genuine YKK zipper, so that is very nice, and it is a really nice zipper, nice and smooth. Doesn't have much catch up. The only time it did catch up is because just be aware not to put anything too thick or anything with like a really sharp edge, because I have had that fingernail clipper catch on it just because it gets it's just the right height for this pouch back here. It gets caught on that zipper there, so I just kind of stick it off to the side and it's fine. So yeah, just be aware, don't put anything that will snag on that zipper. But other than that, very smooth, very functional zipper. Also has a lot of different pouches, which I will go into momentarily, but we got two on the back, or two on the front here, two on the back, the zipper pouches I showed you. And we also have some loops right there, and this pouch in the middle. We also have this really nice kind of, I don't know what you call that, tab, maybe lanyard, where you can pull it out of your pocket easier, or grab that, pull it out of your pocket. And they also have this little lanyard on the zipper there as well. Gives you good purchase on that zipper. So that is very nice. This one right here is in the OD green color. They also have a few different other variations. They have a black one, a gray one. They also have a actual multi-camo, yeah, it's genuine multi-cam camo fabric. And also the prices on these, this one right here is the smaller size. This is the 4x6 version. There's also a 5x7 version if you want just a little bit bigger. I went for the smaller one because I prefer a little bit smaller package when it comes to pocket pouches like this. Yeah, so the 4x6 one, as far as price range, is going to, as of the time of recording this video, is coming in around the $19 to $24 point. And then the bigger one, the 5x7, is coming in around the $20 to $25 point right now, as of the time of recording. Yeah, I went with the OD green version, and we do have this Maxpedition logo on there. It's kind of a patch sewn in there. We do have threading down the middle there. And I really like those black accents. That's very nice. It's a good complement to the OD green color. Looks like we have a little bit of thread that didn't get trimmed at the factory. I can fix that. Also a little bit there. Didn't get quite trimmed up. But yeah, let's go over what I have currently set up in this pouch right now. Over here in this right pouch, I have the Victorinox Cadet, nice slim multi-tool with just your standard Victorinox tools. We also have a knife blade, but yeah, those two things handy, and then the file. So that is my kind of go-to multi-tool, especially for pouch setups like this. Currently, I have this knife right here. This is the Rosecraft Nolichucky Jack, set up in the right side carry right there. Gorgeous knife, and also just very nice single blade knife. Fits really well in this. It's maybe getting a little tall, getting close to the end. Maybe this is maybe that's maybe as long as I would go for that. I can't remember. Let's see, let me grab a ruler really quick. All right, I'm back with a ruler here. Let me just see what we got for the length on this knife. So it looks like we're coming in at about 4 inches. That is kind of pushing the limit for me, at least for my taste. You could probably get a little bit longer of a knife, but for me, this is about the length I'm comfortable with carrying in this pouch. So kind of like a medium to large size knife would fit well. And there is that, this is the smaller one, the 4x6, so you could go with the bigger one if you tend to carry a bigger knife more often than not. I tend towards the smaller to medium size, so the smaller one worked out really well for me. So yeah, that's what I have currently set up in here. And also let me just grab two other knives that I did carry in this. This one is the Boker Traditional Series 2.0. This is a 4-blade Congress, so it is a 2-layer knife, and it still fits in there pretty well without creating too much bulk coming out there. So that is nice. In fact, actually, even though this is a single blade knife, or double blade knife, or multi-blade knife, I should say, single blade, they're relatively close to the same thickness, and that is about This is about the limit on thickness I would probably be comfortable with going with too. Where did I set my ruler? Let's see what we got on thickness. So just over 1/4 of an inch, it looks like, for the thickness. That would be, was that 3/8 maybe? I don't know how to try and reading it through the camera. Sorry, it's not focusing. There you go. So about a little bit over 1/4 of an inch is kind of what I would feel comfortable with, because otherwise it gets too bulky. But really most double layer knives fit that bill. So yeah, for me and my needs and kind of what I've experienced, I'm comfortable carrying a 2-layer knife in this setup right here. And there's also one more knife. This is a kind of a slimmer knife, and it's kind of stretched out a little bit because I've had the little bit bigger knives, but it still fits in. This is the Boker Club knife. That is one of the other knives I did carry in this. Just kind of a nice gentleman's knife. Yeah, fit in there very well. So those are 3 of the knives that I carried in this setup. I might as well just leave those there. So yeah, those are 3 knives I carried in this pouch setup. And then in the middle here, we have just I've got one of these flip notebooks. This is the Diamine Memo. Yeah, just a nice flip notebook with line pages. I'll give you the measurements on this so we kind of get a gauge. This looks like we're at about 4 3/4, it looks like, for the length on that. Yeah, just a nice slim memo pad that I found I really liked carrying in there. We also have some other options you could carry in there. Let me just pull this. This is a Right in the Rain all-weather notebook. This is the Warriors edition. And this one does fit in it as well. So if you like the Right in the Rain, this would be a good option. It goes over the top just slightly, but I would say that does fit in there very nicely. Just again, just slightly over the top there, slightly bigger than the Midori. That is an option. There's also these small notebooks you can get from Walmart. You get a 3-pack of these for like $1 something, maybe $2. These fit if you want if you don't like the spiral, top spiral notebooks. These fit perfectly in there. They're maybe a little thicker, but with that extra width, you do get more pages of writing. And if you prefer this style, the notebook with the more like a standard book binding, that would be a good option. Or if you want a tinier memo pad, Midori also makes these, the Midori Diamond. It's just a smaller one. This one slips in there very nicely, disappears completely. If you want to do that, it's maybe a little smaller than I would like, but that is also an option out there. Oh, and also there's one more. This is an Apica. Let's see, is it CDY5? CD5Y, I think, is the size on this one. 72 by 102 millimeters. It's another standard like book binding. This one fits in there, but very kind of small, disappears in there. So that is another option that you could go with. But the kind of log and jotter or field note size doesn't really fit. I've gotten them to fit, but it's quite a snug fit and a pain to kind of get back in there, and they also go over the top. So if you want a field note sized pocket organizer, this is not it. You would want to go with the bigger size, the 5x7. I know those fit the field notes, I think. So yeah, the 5x7 will probably fit this field notes. So this is a log and jotter, but if you want to do like a field notes log and jotter size, go with the bigger one. And that is about my setup for the front there. And then on the back, we have 2 long pouches designed for pens or whatever else you want to fit in there. I guess, yeah, this really you can set up however you want as long as the items fit. Just have a Sharpie in there. And then just a Uniball 1 gel pen. There's one more pen I did carry in this, and it was the Zebra F701. It fits in there really nice. And I really like these, for this kind of pouch, I think these size click action pens work really well. I think these are about 5.5 if I'm remembering correctly. Okay, so about 5 inches with it, not including the clicker, 5.5 including the clicker. So yeah, about the 5-inch clicker pens I think fit this pouch very well. Let's see, I've got a few more pens I could try in here to see, just kind of give you a look. So this is one of the Uni Jetstream multi pens, and this one's a little bit thicker, but it does fit in there. You get the clicker sticking out a little bit, but it fits in there pretty nicely, nice and snug. So that's one of the options. I do have two bolt action pens. I have this one. This is a Civivi. This is the Civivi Sequel. And then we also have the Atomic Bear Stealth Pen Pro. I got this as a gift from a friend, and this was sent to me by Atomic Bear to do a review on. This one fits in there really nicely, and I prefer, because these clips are both very tight, I prefer not to use the clips on it, so I don't want to scuff up or ruin the canvas there, or nylon. But that one fits in there pretty well. And then for the Atomic Bear is a little bit bigger of a pen. Let's just do a quick measurement on here, about 5 3/4 it looks like. So a little bit longer. This one might not fit. Ooh, hang on. Oh, no, I had it backwards. So, oh, no, never mind. That one, I would say that fits. So yeah, just be aware that since this is a tactile pen, you do have this kind of a little bit of a sharp bit that could maybe possibly poke through the bottom. Also, Zebra F402, and then also the 301 would also fit very nicely. Yeah, that one fits in there. That's a little bit shorter of a pen. The Fisher Space Pen, I know the bullet pen is a kind of a staple in the EDC community. This one is gonna slide right in there without. Yeah, you can slide it out if you want to just stick it in there. Maybe a little bit small for me. But we also have these on here at the front. These little loops, which work really well if you want to stick. Sorry, this is hard to do on camera. But if you want to stick the pen in there like that, there you go. You can carry your Fisher Space Pen, and then if you want to put like a flashlight or something else in the back here, that is an option. One more pen. This is kind of smaller. Let's see how this one fits. So this one is a little bit thicker, so it might actually, yeah, it doesn't go down all the way, but you can just push it up. That fits in. This is the Kaweco Sport fountain pen. And then you could probably also do the same with the elastic. That might be a little thick for the elastic, maybe. Because it is, nope, there we go. Yeah, you could do the elastic method as well if you want to do that. And one thing I don't personally carry in pouches, but I know a lot of other people do, are flashlights. Here are the two flashlights that I do own. This is the Streamlight Stylus Pro and the Olight i3T. These are maybe a little thick to go on the, well, maybe. If you really did, if you made it, let's see, that might be a little thick. Nope. Oh, okay, that fits in there really nice if you want to do that. Let's check the Streamlight Stylus Pro in there. Yep, that one fits in there really nicely. So if you want to carry either of those, kind of like those style flashlights, maybe. Yeah, so there's those two flashlights. They fit in there pretty nicely. And then we can also check the, they also might fit in the front here as well. Oh, this one might be a little big for that. Keep in mind, I am doing this on camera, so I'm having to look through the camera to do this. Oh, that's maybe a little too snug. What you could also do is clip it like that if you wanted to. That's maybe an option you can do. And then we have the i3T. This is probably going to work a lot better, less thick. Let's set this to the side there. You could also fit the i3T in there. Let me pull it off camera to do it like this. Oh yeah. So, okay, so it's maybe a little thick, but if you broke that in a little bit more, it's getting caught on the flap there. I was able to get it through. So it's maybe a little tight for that. There's also this middle pouch that works better, or you could also just clip it come on. You could also clip it like that if you wanted to, clip it off to the side. Sometimes though, if you are using these pouches though, or not these pouches, the loops, they can get in the way of this, so you kind of limit your setup there. So like I'll do this setup because like a Zippo, you can also use it like the middle pouch middle loop here fits a Zippo really well, like that. But then that kind of limits your side pockets here, very limited to kind of a skinnier thing. So like, let's say, so like this right here. So like you put a skinnier knife maybe on that side like that. So yeah, that works like that. And then if you want to put something else on that side, let's do the Victorinox. You could actually probably just slip the Victorinox through this loop right here. Yeah, like that. And again, for my setup, I didn't really use these loops, but it is nice that they have them. It gives you more versatility in the setup here. So yeah, there's kind of a setup you could do like that. And then we could also put back that memo pad, like, whoops, sorry, hit the tripod, like so. Again, I'm having to do this through camera, so it's a little bit trickier than it would be in real life. There you go, just slip that in there. So that's kind of another setup you could do, and then throw your, like, have your pen on that side, and then throw your flashlight in on this side right there, like that. So yeah, that's kind of a setup you could do if you wanted to. Again, it's just like, it's basically plug and play. Like you just, you got your options set up in this pouch, and you can do what you want with it. So yeah, that is kind of one setup you could do. Did I show? I don't know if I showed the inside here, but there's also this really nice zipper compartment, which I have a few things set up. I have my Victorinox jet setter with the small scissors and that combination tool with the small Phillips. I just got a thumb drive and a pair of nail clippers. Very handy, some bandages and some backup paper just in case my notebook runs out on me. So yeah, that is what I have set up in there, and that can be used for just a bunch of different things. But yeah, you just kind of got to play with it and check out other people's videos as well on these to see kind of what they do for setups, because really the possibilities of setups are pretty much endless. So let me cut ahead in the video and get this mess cleaned up, so I will be right back. All right, got the mess all cleaned up there, so no more mess on the table. Got it all put back together on the pouch, and I did actually switch out the pen that I'm going to be carrying in this tomorrow, the Uni Jetstream. But one thing I actually forgot to mention earlier is that Platy, apparently they named it Platy because it means flat, which is a reference to the slim, how this is a slim, and really for a pouch like this is a really slim profile. Really slim carry profile, which makes it fit really well. Like I carried this in my front jeans pockets, and I also carried it in a cargo pocket. In the jeans pocket, it is, I mean, for a EDC pouch like this, it is slim. It's still bulky and relative to carrying like a bunch of this EDC stuff in various other pockets. But as far as an EDC pouch goes, it is relatively slim. And it fits well in a cargo pocket and a jeans pocket. I never carried it in a back pocket because that's just not really something, I don't like things too bulky, like even like really a notebook slim like this. This is as thin as I want to go in my back pocket. So yeah, nothing too thick, so I didn't carry this in my back pocket, but I did carry it in cargo pockets and also in a jean pocket. And also a neat feature of this pouch, and I've taken everything out of it because it's easier to do this without anything in it. A cool feature of this pouch is it has a lanyard that comes with a lanyard if you want to carry it like crossbody or around your neck. That is an option, and it's very easy to, like I take it out, it comes with it on it, but I took it out, and it's very easy to put it back on. All you do is you unzip the back here like that, but you just take the thread, or this, would you call it a thread? Anyway, you take this, stick it through the little eyelet there, and it comes out. I'm sorry you can't see that, though my lighting's not very good. And this is hard to do through the camera because I can't see it. All right, there we go. I feel it. All right, there we go. Finally got it through. Sorry, this is just hard to do on camera. because I'm basically doing this by feel and not by sight. But then you can just go through the other eyelet there. Let me see if I can, so I can feel it. I'm trying to do this through the, there we go, there's the other eyelet. See, this is how you should do it, as I was trying to do it earlier without seeing the actual eyelet, but you just pull the eyelet out like that, and pull the cord through like that there. That's much easier than the way I was trying to do it earlier. And there you have a lanyard setup, and then you can take your little thing, your little spring-loaded plunger there with the hole in it, and stick the thread through there. Let me go around the camera. There we go. Man, I can see a lot easier if I don't look through the camera. But there, you can go through like that, and then you have your lanyard setup where you can carry that crossbody or around your neck. I personally did not use this because this is not really something I wanted to use for my setup. I prefer it in pocket carry. But this would also deal with some of the bulkiness of, well, it's not really bulky, but some of the weight, some weight issues you could have with carrying it in your pocket, especially the front pocket. You just carry it around your shoulder. That way you don't have to worry about it in your pocket and it wouldn't bother you. So that is an option. It is nice that they included that. So yeah, but yeah, with all that said though, let's get into the positives of this thing. The first positive is actually something true with almost any of these setups where you have kind of a big pouch like this with multiple slots to put various EDC items in. It's very handy having most of, if not all, this is most of my EDC. I carry a flashlight in my clip to my other pocket and maybe another knife clip to my pocket as well, and then my wallet. You could actually use this as a wallet if you wanted to by putting stuff in there. Whoops. Hang on, we'll get into that in a little bit, what just happened there. But you could use this as a wallet as well if you wanted to, so that would be one less thing to grab with your EDC. Not personally something I like to do, but that is something you could do. You could use this as a wallet. But it's very handy having a lot of your EDC in one thing where you can just kind of grab and go with it. Like for me, when I got this at first, I had a really busy 3 days, so it was really handy just having my setup here. I could just grab and go and head out the door with. I didn't have to think about picking out items or putting everything in my pocket for worrying about forgetting something. So yeah, that is a positive of this. Everything is in one package, and relatively speaking, for an EDC pouch setup like this, it is relatively thin. Granted, that will change depending on what you put in here, but it is a relatively thin package for what this is, for an EDC pouch like this, with this many compartments. And that's another positive. It has a lot of different compartments. You have a lot of things that you can do, because like it has these pouches right here, these loops on the back, the zipper compartment, these two in the back. So you have a lot of options to fit a lot of different EDC gear in, depending on how you want to load this out. So yeah, that is another positive. And it's also made of a really, a fairly durable, yeah, I'd say really durable material as well. So it's going to stand up to normal everyday use. I wouldn't like go out and actively try to destroy it, but it's going to stand up to relatively regular everyday use. As long as you're not like, I don't know, throwing this thing against sandpaper or something. Yeah, this thing is going to treat you well if you take care of it and don't abuse it, but it's going to be a good, strong material. And yeah, that's pretty much what I have for the positives. It's very handy to have everything in one package. Lots of storage, various compartments you can use, durable material. So yeah, now let's go on to the negatives. All right, so for the negatives, at least these first two are kind of a negative on almost any pouch setup that is like this with all of your stuff together. It's one of the give and takes of having everything together. It's very handy having everything together, but it also has its drawbacks. Like number one, let me grab my scale here. This can get relatively heavy really quick, depending on what you have set up in here. Like, granted, this setup is maybe a little bit heavier than maybe some other setups, because like the Nunchucky Jack, this is a little bit heavy for a knife, not super heavy. So we're at 3.1, is that one? Yeah, 3.1 ounces, so not super heavy, but not like super lightweight. If you have a lighter weight knife in here, it's going to be lighter. This Victorinox isn't going to be too heavy. 1.6, yeah, not too heavy, and everything else is really not going to be too much heavy. But when you get all of that together, everything on the inside, it starts to add up as far as weight is concerned. So like we're at 10.2 ounces. So you were going to notice this in the pocket. It's not terrible. Like for me, I guess it depends on how sensitive you are to stuff like that. So just be aware that you are going to be aware if this is in your front jean pocket. Now in a cargo pocket, for me, that's not a big of an issue, the weight. I barely notice this if it's in a cargo pocket, and it also, that helps that it is a relatively slim package, but that is something you need to be aware of. This is going to get kind of heavy fast compared to carrying stuff all across your body in different areas where the weight's going to be evenly distributed differently in different spots. Carrying like a knife in one pocket, a notebook in another, carrying everything separately in different pockets. The weight's going to be different. It's going to be all concentrated in one spot. And also another negative, a lot of stuff is in one package. So if you lose this whole pouch, you're going to lose a lot of stuff. But granted, both of those things that I just mentioned are negatives that follow almost every single one of these pouch setups. So that's just the trade-off you get for having it super handy, being able to grab and go in one package. You do take on those two negatives, but it's a trade-off. So you just kind of got to decide which one you're willing to, if you want to take more time in grabbing your stuff and put it in every single separate pocket, you could do that, or you could go with like a pouch like this, have it in one pocket, but have it a little bit more weight in a concentrated place. So yeah, those are kind of the two negatives. And then this one is actually kind of also a thing with any of these nylon pouches. This material is going to stretch. So like having knives in here of different sizes has stretched this material out somewhat, and it will come back a little bit slightly. But like I started off with this Boker knife right here, and look at how easily that slips out. And then I went on to the Noel Chucky Jack, was the second knife I carried, and doesn't slip out as easily. Ooh, sorry, ooh, that was bad. We're good though, no damage. So it slips out. And then this one is the thickest of them all. So then since I carried this one last, it's not going to slip out as easily. So just kind of be aware and keep in mind that the size of knife you do, if you have a thinner knife and a thicker knife, the thicker knife is going to be what kind of forms to the pouch essentially. But that's kind of true with almost any of these nylon / leather, yeah, maybe leather, not so much, but any of these like canvas pouches, just be aware that the material is going to stretch some. So relatively speaking, like I personally like to keep close to the same knife in there. It's not a big deal because it's going to be sitting in your pocket like this, so there's not very likely chance you're going to tip it out. But that is just something that you should be aware of if you're thinking of purchasing that material will stretch depending on what knives or what anything really, the thickness of anything you put in these pouches. It can stretch. And then kind of this other one, this is really a nitpick and very specific situation. But yeah, I think I mentioned it earlier that I had, and if I didn't, I'll just mention it now, that the fingernail clippers got caught on this zipper once. So it was how you either had trouble closing or opening. But that's just really more of just a be aware of thing, because it's very easy to fix that. That's just that's kind of a nitpick on my part. Just something to be aware of. But that's pretty much it as far as I can think of for the negatives. But yeah, and then let's go on to the final thoughts here. All right, so final thoughts. I really like this pouch. It is super handy, and I really like having something like this where I can set it up and have it ready, where if I'm in a rush and I just grab it, I can go, like especially if I'm going to go to work. I like having something like this where it's easy and I don't have to really think about what I'm carrying. I can just set it up at an earlier date and have it ready to just grab and go, which is, in my opinion, the biggest plus and the biggest reason I like carrying something like this. It has its basically it has its pluses and negatives, gives and takes with this. Like, as I said in the positives, it's very handy, and as I said just now, it's very handy having everything in one package, a lot of different places to put it. But it also comes with just those few drawbacks where it's a more concentrated weight, and if you lose it, you lose a lot of stuff. So yeah, it's just give and takes, and you just got to decide if you really, really want that easy to carry one grab and go package, and you just take on those negatives, which in my opinion are not the biggest. Like especially if you have a cargo pocket, the weight thing is almost not an issue. So yeah, just kind of be aware of those gives and takes. It's a very handy thing. I really like it. It's really cool. I think it's well designed. It's a well designed package. But yeah, just be aware of those negatives that you just be aware of those negatives and positives and kind of make your own choice. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for now for this video. Big thank you again to Maxpedition for letting me take a look at this pouch. I really enjoyed it, and I think it's just a really cool product, really cool piece of gear. And yeah, and if you want to check this out any further, there will be links down below if you want to look it up, check out this pouch anymore and do some more research on it. I will be having some links below. Those are not affiliate links or anything like that. I do not get any money from that. They're just links down below if you want to do more research into this pouch. They will be available down below. Again, they are not affiliate links, so I do not make any money from those. They will just be down there if you would like to check them out. But I think that's going to do it for now. Thank you all for watching. Keep your pens filled and your knife sharp, and I'll see you later.